Hello. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, evening, whatever time zone in the world you all are. It's your Blue Archive Gacha where beginner artist self-proclaimed and your boy Tosanyo. Welcome to the stream. For today I'll be drawing fan art of an orc VTuber, Randon Neuring, and can like take about 2 hours on average. You see like on the left side some samples like how I draw it in GB style and then like my regular form. Not really sure like what way I will go, but I will try to do something. And while I'm like doing that stuff, you can feel free to keep the stream open, listen to my yapping or whatever. And yeah, I have like a slight I think I'm kind of punctual, maybe like a few minutes late, but I was like eating before the stream, like right before the stream I was like eating soup with like some I did like something with my leftover like rice and made myself a soup, as I was like still like sick since like 2 weeks ago with like a cough or so. I was like thinking, yeah, it should be better than something like just noodle soup or something like instant ramen or so. Just like made like a soup with the leftover rice and then like combined it with the ramen stuff. Instead of like using a water cooker, I would just like actually boil it in a pot, and I think this was like a better choice. Better thing you could like have done. Actually pretty filling. It's pretty filling. And I feel like refreshed, more refreshed. Like it's hot. Hot. Soup is something that's hot. That during summer is kind of like, why would you eat like hot stuff during summer? But you know, if you're sick, there's like not much you can like do. Like you need like some salt, you need like some liquid as well, because if you sweat, you need like you like exhaust both of those resources, you know, kinda. And yeah. Like, kind of like important, I suppose, to have like that around. But also it can like warm you up from the inside, you know, like what soup can do, and maybe it gives you a little bit of strength. It's maybe a little bit of copium, you know, like chicken soup or so, like a warm chicken broth, you know, like when you're sick, and because you feel like warm from inside, and then there's kind of like this kind of copium, placebo, they also like say, like back in the days, is that you feel like, yeah, actually I feel better now. I suppose I'm not sick anymore, man. The body's like tricked by that, when it's like, yeah, I'm like no good, you know, no need for that crap anymore, medicine, and yeah, I suppose. But yeah, I feel actually better, and actually like the steam when you like cook the broth, you know, is like actually good for like for your nose, also like for generally like when you like have cough or like cold, it's also like kind of good. So kind of like coping like with those kind of house kind of like how to say, like the free-to-play kind of approach to like beat you know, like common colds or like whatever, you know, like sicknesses, instead of like going pay to win, going like into a pharmacy and like buying like some expensive medicine, you know. It's just like this kind of like honest approach there. And you gotta like see how this will go, if this like gonna do anything better, but I do feel better for now, so should like do something. I haven't like ever drawn like a really big guy, maybe like in my warm-up sketches like in years, in past years, but I'm gonna like see how this will go. Maybe I'm gonna keep it black and white or so, not sure. Maybe we're gonna do chibi. Not really sure either. If I do it chibi, it would be like a lot easier, of course. Maybe like a little bit smaller, simplified. So that it fits in the full picture. But if we make him chibi, then he needs a bigger body. Like, actually, usually small body, but he's an orc, so kind of have to exaggerate that. But and he's like sitting on a... He's sitting, so even more reason. I put in here? No, I didn't put in here. Or did I do it? No, it's not in here. Oh, which folder is it? Here's this. Expression sheet. Nandake. Checking through the folder with the references. I remember like one where he was just like streaming normally and there's like a monitor in front of him. Kinda like wanted to pick that up as a reference so that I can like draw his desk and everything, like the environment usually streams around. Like the first time like I saw something of like the nerdy orc, the uncle so of Randon was like on Twitter also, and then occasionally some fan art of his also. This was like years ago, before things like you know, English VTubing and holo and cover was like kind of a thing. And I was like not thinking much about him, you know. I saw like some of the fan art, they look like a little bit yaoi ish, you know, and I was like, okay, you know, not thinking too much, but it was like definitely a like unique design, and I kind of like that. But afterwards, I didn't thought much of it. But at some point, things happened, and I was like, yeah, I guess I want more of this guy. Where can I watch him? And then it's kind of like started to happen. Things started to happen, yeah. Okay, let me see. And then walk. We need something. That is looking huge. Maybe make him look to the side rather than like straightforward. And then I have to adjust like also like some things here. Yeah, I think I can do that. It's gonna be like the Skendo Ikari pose, you know, like from Evangelion, getting a freaking robot Shinji or so. Not that I like watched the anime yet, but I saw like bits and pieces, you know, on like the memes, or like I had like an art book I had, like I like gave it away. I read like some parts of the manga, but it's kind of like not like volume 1, so I couldn't like really like read from the start and then from the finish line. I just like saw like bits and pieces, you know. Like sometimes you visit like someone and then have like some random volumes like lying around, and it's like kind of like how I got into that stuff, you know. But like nothing too specific. Okay. This is gonna be difficult, I suppose. First of all, the hands and Hanze. So something like this around here. I do remember like from Evangelion like that the car was kind of dark. Like the art style looked like very clean and so. And it like was able to like draw action scenes, like not like the mecha ones. I haven't like seen those yet in action, but it was like a lot about the character interactions rather than like, man, when do I get the fight, you know? It was just like, you know, the character interactions and like the philosophy and like how are they mentally, you know, what's their status with this one. It never really like took off in like the volumes like I got to read, you know. But as a kid, when I saw like Evangelion every now and then, like German television or so, all I can remember is like dude sits like in the robot or so, and it zooms like it's like on this kind of scene for 15-20 seconds, you know. It's like still image like those One Punch Man season 3 like kind of memes, you know, where they spent like 60 frames for 30 seconds like in the same stills, you know, rather than having like the whole load of like crazy animations kind of, you know. It's like kind of this meme. And because the stills are like really what I remember is like, man, when do they fight? When do these robots finally move in like to action, you know? But the thing is like with animating like robots, which are like pretty detailed, is like pain, you know? And as a kid, I wasn't really aware how pain art is, you know, usually. When I like tried to draw like Snake, you know, it's like rolled over like a piece of poop or like ice cream. I wanted to like to draw that as a kindergarten kid, you know, and then I couldn't do it. And then took the paper and be like, you know, and like crumpled it and like threw it in the bin, like they would do the cartoon. And I would do it over and over again, and then one of the kindergarten sitters, I don't know like how they're called really, but one of the ma'ams was like there and be like, hey, don't waste paper. And then I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, I just want to do the same thing as like in the TVs. But yeah, it was kind of like, I kind of like thought, maybe I don't have the talent, you know. They can do like those in TV can like do it first try or so, but I can't, so I suppose I'm not fit for it. But actually it really needs practice. No, I never really acknowledged like how difficult things were. I really like thought it was like if you were like born for it or not, you know, but when I've like say I got like older, my brain developed like more, and I read like something about the part that you can learn certain things, you know? Like I needed to learn reading and like writing. And then it's like, okay, actually you can learn drawing. I can like do those crazy stuff like they do, you know? And that's like kind of like how it started, I suppose. But yeah, but with Evangelion, Gendo Ikari post also, let's say it had a clean image, character designs were like pretty good, but it wasn't like quite in the part, I wasn't like really quite like sold on like, man, Rei and Asuka are hot or so. Not really yet, you know, or like it was like kind of like hard hitting. Maybe around the scene where like Kaworu, like the white hat dude, like a lot of like female viewers like is like, did he like murdered a cat or so? You could consider that a mercy kill, but at the same time, what if she could have lived? You know, maybe there was like light and there's a tunnel. Who knows, you know? But he like took a cat and then you know. I think for anime only, an anime is like not shown, but I remember still like the anime, the manga like kind of thing, where he did the thing. It's kind of like, okay, man. It was kind of like, yeah, it's out in the wild, it can't like survive to get food, you know. You and I can't like take the cat in, so what I will do is like an act of mercy, and then proceeds to pick up the cat and then like crack its neck, and then it's like, it was like kitten, so I don't know. Yeah, it was a pretty young one, and it's like, I don't know, I don't know about you, but yeah. It was kind of like, yeah, I think like I'm not really sold on him. He's attractive, yeah, but I can't forgive like certain actions, you know. And I was a teenager, you know, still at that time. And I think it was like pretty simple. If I look at it now, it's kind of like, yeah, I suppose it's like this. But that's like the only thing I can remember of him, you know? Like, not so much. I also read like things like School Rumble and so. And like other older like stuff. The library had like a lot to offer. But when it like hadn't anything there, I would like go maybe like to a bookstore and like read like the books there. Usually you're not allowed to like read a bookstore, you know, like maybe like the first few pages a little bit, you know, to like get a feel. Is it worth buying? Will I buy it? Like a little bit of a sneak peek, but I did more than a sneak peek. Actually, I read the whole volume and stood there like for hours, you know, or like looked for a place where I can sit and then like get like, they have like a whole stack of like manga or so like next to me, like reading through all the stack. Might be like a 10 stack or so and would be there for hours actually. And sometimes I would like tell my parents, hey, I'm currently not in the library but like at this bookstore, if you're like looking for me, you can find me there, you know. And I read there for hours and I did it like for several months, years even, and until, you know, the book clerk, some of the clerks in the store were like, hey, it's not a library, you know, it's just all that said. Probably they would like, you know, you little fucker, you know, you're not this is not for free, this is not you can't like read all of that shit, you know. It's kind of like trying to download a car, kind of, you know, that you steal data from them. But the thing is, like, it's a physical medium. It's just like inside my head. They can't like go into my head and be like, steal all the things I've read like out of my head. It's like kind of impossible. So all they were like kind of like bound to like do is like you know, hey, you can't do that, and be like, I refuse, you know. And I kept like reading until you know, they kicked me out. But I read like a lot, you know. I have like a lot of like I have a big library like in my head, kind of thanks to like me not giving a f of like whether or not I get consequences. And do I regret it? Not really. The thing is like I didn't even got a fine or so. I was like a teenager. I was just a kid, you know. So they couldn't really, and I think like there's no law or anything against that. It's just like a rule in a store or something like that, you know. But at the same time, when what is it? What is it? You always are like a lot of sneak peek, you know. But sometimes like the employees are like pretty lazy or like pretty busy at the moment, and then they will not really care whether or not you're like doing that, you know. The lesson I like learned from there is not really, man, I should never do that again. It's kind of like, okay, how do the next time to not get caught, you know. And yeah. But it really depends like on store to store. Like in this kind of store I was like able to sit, you know. There was a little table next to the chair where you can like put your stack on, and yeah, it was like pretty comfortable. It was like pretty good reading spot, you know, where you could do things. But I wouldn't really like to sit like to like read while standing or so. I really needed to relax somewhat and like have a body posture and everything to be able to like read for a long while. And I'm pretty fast reader, by the way. But sometimes I would like to need the time to like let things sink in, and then like, oh, I didn't understand the sentence, what does it mean? And then yeah, do it a little bit slowly. I can't draw hands. Do I simplify it? Yes, I suppose. Let's simplify it. Randon is an orc, so his hands should be pretty big. Pretty big. Around here should be like the face. Can I imagine like with everything else here? Like eyes. Like if you like do like this kind of style. I couldn't take it seriously. But it's like a noseless kind of style.
Look at here, I got your nose.
Nah, I can't do that. Dame yo. Dame desu yo. The kind of like blueprint is like him sitting there menacingly. Hmm. Yeah, style's like pretty simple. I suppose I have to maximize things. Kind of small scale. Would be a waste to actually erase everything. Today was kind of like okay, I would like say, like for the starters. I didn't like had enough sleep, I would like think. Like kind of average, like around 6 hours or so. But the start was like, it's not necessarily like the best, I would like say. Like sleep was okay, I was like, able to shower, like had not enough time, like everything. Like I barely like squeezed in like time to make me breakfast, eat, and like also like make some lunch, like for like break time and my work, like to have like some kind of sandwiches like made for those, for those breaks. And then I went like off to work. I didn't have like enough time to like check onto social media or like Blue Archive or so. Kind of had like to do that on the way, you know, rather than like during the time I can like kind of like boot up, you know, while taking my time to like prepare, like also not only like physically but also like mentally, kind of, you know. And work went like with that kind of like, you know, kind of okay. Like a day went by, like nothing to like too big. I sure would have liked like a bit more time to like prep. Also like sleep a little bit more, but at the same time I think like I started to develop like bad habits again and need to like train or like actually make sure that I don't like get back into the falling back into bad habits again, kinda. I remember like that I was like pretty mentally exhausted, you know, after playing Yakuza, and then like going straight into like more games, you know, like with the archive, and oof, not necessarily like the best thing like for me, since it is like those are like kind of activities that do take my motivation away, like my MP points all. And if I'm like, you know, usually if I have free time, you know, it's like, yeah, I can like now do productive stuff, I can like now finish my projects or so, I could like make video editing, I could make clips, I could like draw or whatever, you know, anything that could like help me progress to something, or that I could like use for like the future or so. But I wouldn't really do that, just like kept like being lazy and not really doing much. Like I was like sitting in front of the PC, like doom scrolled, and it's kind of like a trap over and over again, like with social media. But yeah, or like with games so that you need like some kind of thing that stimulates your brain, but your brain is like exhausted by then. All I kind of needed was like to meditate or like take a break, you know, like maybe sleep, napping, you know, something like that. But I felt like I waste a day if I like don't do that, and it's kind of like the thing that contradicts like. But I really needed like a mental break so that I was like kind of like back to the track on like, okay, what did I need to do again? What was like important, you know? And yeah. Suppose like once I like a full-time job, and I have to be like even more careful like on how I manage time, I suppose. So this will be like quite something. I wonder like when I was like in school or so. Not like high school or so, but like the school after high school. There, I was like kind of more disciplined because I had like no internet access, you know, so there was like not really a brain rot kind of way to like just waste time and like feed like the tech overlords with like my data, you know. I really had like my hobbies really were like for the highlight of my hobbies were like anime, and then the afterwards drawing, you know, like like the second best like thing to like kill time, maybe like the third best because I still like manga, but at some point I will run out and then I shall draw, and then would like do something like that and maybe like come up with like some ridiculous ideas that I kind of like combine, you know. You like Dragon Ball, you like Bleach, you like Naruto, and then hey, and like One Piece, let's make like a combination of all of those, you know, and then make like, yeah, I'm like this greatest martial artist. I want to be like the best martial artist ever. I'm gonna fight like 7 ninja scrolls in order to do that, something like that. And then yeah, this kind of like thing, like when you get inspired of like too many things that you like just combine them, and then yo, why did nobody think of that? Prize, like too weird, man. But yeah, like did anyways, and I did like some of the projects, but never like finished that. So I had like some kind of first chapters or so, like kind of maybe character designs, but in the end I kind of like lacked the motivation like, to finish them in the first place. Maybe somewhere I did kind of like detect like the bullshit there, you know, that it was like not really worth like further pursuing. Maybe. Maybe you're like just better off like drawing fan art, but at the same time I had like no internet access, so I didn't really had like a reason to like really share anything of mine, you know. But I found like something like of a forum or so, like a German like speaking one, and there would be like kind of a community of like, you know, sharing like fan arts to get to each other, so like something like that, something of that sort. And it's like kind of like where that started. I would like share a little bit of like what I would have drawn, but it was like not like too much that I think of it. I had like a scrappy like kind of like lip photo, so with like camera on there, and took like photos with that, and then look at that, my drawings, and then you have like some blurry kind of images of like my drawings. I was not even digital, I was like still like with pencil and paper, so and yeah, it was kind of like this kind of thing. Even like tried inking, you know, this and that, like and still like couldn't really like do much there, but it was like some kind of time where I was like really handicapped, and then had like humble like beginnings and times, you know. I suppose things went like easier for me as I had like no access to internet, because they would like slow me like down immensely. Throw the wrong layer with the hair, huh? Kind of like Terminator, huh? My hair goes in this direction, roughly. kinda badass. But at the same time, I look like at the little map there and it doesn't like look so badass anymore. Like I clearly mess up the hands here. That's like something like, yeah. Doing ominous pose. We need a better sketch. But some of the stories of like him I would like he had like I remember like some of the clips he like made as well. On like how he uses Twitter, for example. Or whatever, that's like a story where he was like on this camping trip also, random. And I think like what did he like drop? It was like kind of a salami bar also. Like a salami snack, and I think it was he would like let that actually did drop, you know, was like about to pick it up and there was like a big freaking rat, you know, like snatching it away, and for a moment he was like about to, hey, that's mine, and then I think like that was kind of a fighting spirit also, that it was like a bag of potato chips or so, that he wanted like to get that or something like that, and then there was a rat like pulling on that, like fighting for his life for it, and kind of had a respect for it for a moment and then let go, and like saw like the rat ran off with his bag of potato chips or something like that, and something we had like respect for also. But even though he looks like so badass, like as a or like pretty strong as an orc, he's actually like pretty human as well, I suppose. Like, okay, understandable, have a nice day, and then yeah. Or like the time where he went like spent a night on the roof of McDonald's, like I think. Not really like sure like why, but there are like things like that. And the story's like a pretty interesting to listen to. Like I am kind of a regular if it comes to Satsudan streams, like his random talks. I love listening to those stories he had, like and because he's like my Zatsudan king, like I suppose like I do like want to like share this kind of sentiment in the drawing, I suppose. Like with a character design of his caliber, it's like pretty hard to think make him like look chibi. I think there's a way to do so. But for me currently it could be like it's like kinda hard, I think. I'm not that great either, I think. I'm still like kinda beginner. I can like try do something. And if it's like decent enough, then it's good. Currently I think like in Asia should be like kind of evening-ish now. A lot of people should be like asleep there. But I'm kinda like aware that like for some reason like in Chinese speaking community they like watch like the individuals that like watch those male streamers, like VTubers or so. And if they like found like a favorite, they're like pretty loyal, so like Bilibili and this kind of stuff. I like heard that a lot of like Niji, Sanji VTubers, you know, like the male ones have like majority of their famous like from the Far East or so. It's kind of like okay, interesting, you know. But I suppose like you can trust a Chinese speaking person a lot more being able to speak and understand English than like a Japanese one, you know, where we have like those kind of funny case and like Japanese dub of like anime, you know. So yeah, I suppose. How do I do this? Hmm. For some reason, like, it looks really small with the hair. But I want to simplify it as well, like not to make it like too crazy. And a dilemma. Maybe something like that. Then sword up sleeves. Something like that. This necktie. Where would I start? Put this. Something around here, around there, there. The necktie would start around here. Yeah, something around here. Also, there are like enough times where we wouldn't like wear a necktie. No, whatever, I'm gonna draw the necktie. Maybe a separate layer, yeah, would be better. So I think... do I want to color that? Is all the question. Like, it looks okay, like now, like how it is. I think I take too much time. I think like about what I am in, yeah. Kind of like not really talking. Like I did try, but at the same time I don't really feel it, you know. Right now. Kind of like, maybe like out of steam. I would like say. kind of like that. Salaryman, Orc Salaryman, kinda. They can be pretty cool and so. Looking, you know. Like, looking like dressed up and so. And then they're doing their work and business. But at the same time, if you think like about the genre of like Japanese salaryman, those are like pretty underappreciated kind of people who like work a lot of hours, do a lot of like public serving, and then their pay grade is like, you know, it's like not really the best. That you like end up with like overworked people, you know, with like really dark eye rings, you know, pretty not really like high energy, let that body get the body moving, high energy, let's go. They're really like calm, tired, you know, and are like low energy, you know, just so that they can like at least like function for the day. And it's kind of like, yeah, we live in this kind of like time, I suppose. I kind of like wonder why like the design decision of like not only be an orc but also salaryman. This thought can be like kind of funny, you know, but at the same time, salaryman in Japan at the very least is like kind of one's job like thing where you really can like think like about exhaustion, like about work and everything, you know. Maybe there's a deeper meaning behind all of that, you know, like how's like the character design choices, you know. Some might like if it's just like cat girl, you know, and then or like something like that, I suppose it's just like, yeah, a little bit of muy cute, you know, but if like the salaryman, maybe that's like a deeper story, I suppose. Maybe not, you know. But it can be like interesting to think about a what if, you know. Because like once the message out there, design and everything, it's like up to you to interpret it, you know. Not that there's a real lore. I just like tuned into the streams and I thought like, hey, funny man, you got like, I like your stories, you know. But now that I think about the salaryman aspect, it really could have been like, you know, this kind of Japanese work environment. Even though I'm like kind of sure it's like, yeah, I'm from Orc America, New Orc City, kind of like from like this older like kind of stuff. I'm from New York City. And maybe they're like better like paid there. Maybe their pay grade is like better there. Maybe they're getting better treated. But if I think like about the possibility of like him being overworked, like this is an orc, you know, like a really freaking giant, you know, that's like full of muscles, but he decides like to do office jobs. Kind of like funny, you know. He's like not the guy you said. Like usually people of this caliber you send into war, but they decide like to do the office kind of job of like the military thing, you know, and then they're just there. And he's good at that. But it could also be while he's escaping, like more or less, he could like escape like a bigger kind of chore that involves like risk of death. He's getting a job that's like can be pretty tiresome, pretty underappreciated, you know. Maybe that make like overtime that does get like paid. They have like to do the nomikai, you know. It's kind of like, yeah, really exhausting. Pretty much like mentally exhausting stuff, you know. That you kind of have like the only hope is like to like stream, you know, and like let the world like know that you're also suffering. Kind of like this Japanese, what the Japanese salarymen like do, and they speak like really silently, you know, pretty like weak, and then you know like, hey, hello everyone. Like I kind of silent right now, but I like lost a lot of energy. Today, I had one package of soy sauce. Or something like that, you know? Like how they kind of like talk about how miserable that day like was, how much to eat they like had also, and it can be like pretty, yeah. At least like one thing I like heard about like what's like going on with like Japanese like salaryman, and when they stream that they like kind of do that, and it's but that's I think like overseas people like can do anything like, and you know, at the same time like Japanese citizens are like not interested in the politics, but and then they're like a lot of like, older people. I think it's kind of like, you know, because like the numbers of like births are like sinking, the overall population is like older, you know, and if it comes to voting, there are a lot more people on the elderly side that vote than the younger side, and this means like also it's kind of like it's like the old versus young kind of like TLDR, but not necessarily like sure if it's like that we should like see it. But I can like kind of like see for now, it's kind of like, yeah, there's maybe not really a shot like for the young people to win if it's like just about numbers, you know, if it's just about numbers. Maybe the message might get out and then made like some of politicians reconsider, you know, what kind of long-term like damages like their decisions can have. I think like a lot of stories, you know, even like this crappy like isekai ones, there's like kind of trope with like overworked salaryman, you know, kind of like, or like kind of like some isekai like Senshu, where there's like like this anime about Mappa, you know, and there was like a story that like in Jujutsu Kaisen they like kind of like did some shady shit regarding like the animators, that like season 2 had like crazy criminally good like animations. It was actually criminal like what they did to make it like criminally good, you know, and like this they kind of like forced the animators to stay in the studio. They even had like to sleep there, like not go at home and like relax there, you know, like back to their family or whatever. They were kind of like forced to like work in the studio and like sleep there, kind of like, and like, oh yeah, kind of like crazy shit, you know. Usually I think like it's a big advantage, you know, to like do it so, but it can be like pretty messed up, like if you look at the logistics and like how to do like you know, like with less money a lot of like more results, kind of like, you know, it can be like pretty shady. But yeah. But yeah, like regarding Mappa, like they did also an isekai anime, like about an overworked animator or so, and they died from overwork and then got isekai or something like that. And it's kind of ironic in this kind of sense as well. Like, but just like from the fact that like a lot of like overworked salary people or like mobbed high schoolers, you know, like at least some kind of people like who like went to misery, that they like find a new game plus, you know. Ochi-san! Hello Kotobi, welcome to the stream. I'm drawing here fan art of like Randon Neuring, like an Orc Salaryman. Nerdy Orc as well. Hello, welcome. Guess what? What? I'm here. Yeah, yes, here. Okaerinasai. But yeah, one way or another you have like kind of like to share about the struggle of your life, in a sense. And I think like with the overworked guy, in a company, it's kind of like, yeah, more and more common, I suppose, that some people be like, he's just like me, for real, for real. Last stream my light went out. I missed the rest of the Yakuza chapter. Ah, I see. I hope you get a chance to rewatch it. It's like... It was like kind of a sad kind of chapter. It started like kind of funny, you know, when we're in the video booth, but... Man, the shift was like... But I hope you have a chance to like watch it at the very least, like rewatch it. Or like watch where you've left off. Because I'm gonna continue like this Sunday with the playthrough, you know. And there you can get... Maybe get a summary, you know, like once I go like finish F Majima, but yeah, let's see. Of course I watched the VOD, I still want to know what happened. Let's go. It's like not that long. It is a 3-hour stream. I tried like to keep it around 3 to 4 and I kept like around the minimum. Happy that I was like, able to do that. The drawing looks so cool, by the way. I love the pose. Thank you. I suppose you're familiar with like the Gendo Ikari pose, I suppose. Like the one guy from Evangelion. It's kind of like paired with like, get the fucking robot, Shinji, you know? But yeah, I kind of like thinking, you know, Salaryman, and when he streams, he's always like at his desk, you know? And kind of like wanted like to do this. It's not really that long, plus it's interesting, so it doesn't feel like so heavy to watch. Yeah. OMG, right? Yes, like with the Gendo Ikari pose. Well, Randon, the orc I like drawing, is like somewhat of a nerd as well. A nerdy orc. But for some reason, like, I find it a lot more interesting than like some of the hotties out there. Like the uncle, the grandpa also. But mostly, but feels like more for uncle. With his unklop, you know. How are you, Ochi-san? How was your day? Hey. It didn't really like started that... I was like able to do the bare minimum kind of. Like, I was able to take a shower, eat, and was like able to like squeeze breakfast and like prepare breakfast for work as well. Not so much time to like actually boot up and be like mentally prepared. I was like kind of like physically prepared. I had like my Russians kind of like prepared, but mentally I was like not really, you know, because it was kind of Monday, kind of like hectic, you know. I had like about 6 hours sleep, but overall it worked out. The bare minimum, I was like able to work. It went like kind of smoothly. I was like able to like pick up my package like that arrived, like my Steam machine. I ordered one. Kinda like... I think I want to like share some photos in the YouTube community post like afterwards with the Steam machine. It's like basically like a gaming console or so, but also like a PC. And with the Steam OS equipped, you know. And this is actually better than my current PC. Like my current PC, if I do like some slight upgrades with like $300 of like budget, it could like be as good as the Steam machine, but this adventure I still have to run on Windows or so. I kind of like want to try like with the Steam machine that has been sold out, and so I kind of got like lucky that I won like the lottery or so. That like I got like that I'm part of the chosen ones. And yeah, kind of like want to share a little bit. Maybe I like gonna draw Yuzu or like Arise from the archive of our Steam machine, you know? It's like the same thing as like when you buy your daughter or like your little son, like hey, I want a Nintendo Switch or a PlayStation 5, and then you give the Switch, PlayStation or the Nintendo Switch. And then it's kind of like cute to see like a gamer kid, you know, with their console, you know? Like for Christmas or for their birthday, and then they unwrap it and it's like, hey, that's exactly like what I want, and then they're beaming, you know, it's kind of cute. I kind of like want to draw that, I suppose. That would be cool. I saw the announcement, I don't really know what it does. I thought it was like a power bank or something. It is like a box, it's a cube, you know? Some people call it the Gabe cube because like the boss is called Gabe Newell, you know, Gabe. And there was a Game Cube, you know? And then, oh yeah, Gabe Cube. Let's go to the Gabe Cube. It's a Steam machine. Gabe Cube, Gabe Cube. So I'm proud to like announce that I have the Gabe Cube acquired. OMG, OMG, yes, that would be absolutely cute. Don't laugh, it looks like a big power bank. Man, if it's a power bank, kinda crazy that it costs like a minimum 1k, you know? 1k on 1k bucks. And pounds is like about 800 pounds or so. Doesn't like sound that much, I suppose. But in euro it was like about 1.39k. Yeah, it's pretty expensive because the RAM prices are like freaking high right now because of AI. Don't know if you heard about that, but that's also the reason like why the Switch will cost like a lot more, or like why the PlayStation consoles and everything are not very expensive. The fuck does it do? Does it clean? Does it cook? It is just like a entry to like gaming, and it has the SteamOS in there. And supposedly if you have like the Steam machine, you don't need any other console, because it can like run a lot of like games, like AAA games, you know, on high quality and a high FPS kind of rate, and especially like SteamOS, like it doesn't run Windows. And the thing is, like with Windows currently, it has like not the best kind of like reputation, you know? Like a lot of like the big tech companies like Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, Ubisoft and so, they're like pretty big, they have money and so, but they do like really weird decisions that like backfire, you know? Oh yeah, my brother's complaining about RAM price, I think. Then you heard about it somewhat. But yeah, regarding like those big companies, they do like weird decisions, you know? That we kind of return to the point of like, you know, this meme. Luigi wins by doing absolutely nothing. In this case, Valve didn't really do anything, but still wins, because the others are like so ridiculously dumb, you know? But still, it was like not enough, you know? Because the RAM prices are like higher now, so Valve, company like who did Steam machine and so, had like no choice to like go along with that and rise the prices of the Steam machine, or like the Steam Deck as well. I mean, like lucky that I got like the Steam machine last year on the Black Fridays for like $400, you know. Nowadays it's like around 700 or like 900 euros or so, and I'm like glad that I like was able to like get one Steam Deck. But I was curious about the Steam machine as well, and glad I got like that. I don't know, I never spent money on official stuff. The companies don't deserve the $1 million I have. You have $1 million? What the hell? You got discount? But yeah, potentially like every human is like capable of like generating millions of dollars, you know. But the question is like also like, if you could sell your lifespan, how much money would it be worth? It doesn't really like, it's not necessarily about lifespan in terms of like that you gain an extra year or so, but what would a human be capable like to earn money in a year, like happiness, over revenue and so. There's like a manga like that, kinda. Like a kinda like short manga, maybe one shot I think, yeah, one shot. And it's pretty like deep. It's like one of the best manga I've like read. Kinda like, what was the title? I'm gonna check. I think I had a Kotatsu, I think. The Kotatsu app. No, did I remove it? Oh yeah, I sold 3 years of my lifespan for 100,000 yen or so. What's it called? Jumi wo kaitotte moratta 1 nen ni tsuki 1万円で or something like that. Well, yeah, for 100,000 yen you sold your 3 years of lifespan, something like that. And he gained like something like more important than money during this time before he like died. He had like only like 3 months of like life left or something, and in this kind of short amount of time he was like able to like learn the importance of like life and happiness as well. 3 years, that's not bad deal, TBH. Yeah, it's like not bad, but it was like, you know, your remaining lifespan kind of. And if he sold like 3 years, he only had like 3 months more to live or something like that. Money might have physical value, but in the long run, it's a bit useless in other aspects. Yeah, I would say so. Money can solve a lot of problems. And if this problem involves like money, it's like one of the easiest problems to solve, but it doesn't really give like fulfillment, like I would say. It is not really fulfilling, like to have money. What do I do here? Make like one of the shoulders like broader. I mean, like a lot of people like, you know, money can't buy happiness or something like that. Money can't buy everything. It's like in a lot of like kind of serious. I think like Psychic Kate was also like with this guy called Psycho? Yeah, I think, yeah. Where he like always like throws money around how rich he is, you know, and yeah. I can remember like this kind of like thing. Money can buy life-size Miku. Equals money, equals happiness. I suppose you can, but I wonder if you're not gonna grow arrogant like if you have too much money, you know? Many money. I still like need to finish Psychic Kuso, you know? I'm watching like on off, you know, but like not as regularly. Money can change someone's life immediately, but it's dangerous since people don't really know how to administer it. Yeah. The best way to live is like still like to pretend to be like hobo, you know, even if you have a lot of money. To act like you have poor. And still live on the bare minimum. And then you can like live easily like for your whole lifetime with that amount of money. Oh, I would definitely. I'm the most arrogant and egoistical person in history. Yeah. Then from our money, you know, like it's nothing. Then people will pick it up and, you know, kind of like Yakuza, like where they throw like money around, you know. Actually, we started watching Psyche. Fantastic. Well, it's a good series. Oh, chatto. Huh. Okay. I think I lost the references. Never mind. But yeah, I like Psyche. I heard like a lot of other people like watching this kind of series and it like changing their life in a sense. Like their favorite character would be like the dad from like from Kuso, you know, like Kuso's dad, Psyche-san. Not really sure like what was like first name really was, but him about licking shoes, you know, like crouching down, like showing humility in the face of like difficulty, you know. It has like something pretty respectful, I would like say, you know. I'll drop my day once, I betray everyone, I forget where I came from, I bite the hand that fed me, etc, etc. Oh wait, actually, who's your favorite character? Kusu, if I'm not wrong. I'm like not sure like who would be the favorite character. Because like main character Psyche Kuso is like pretty relatable in a sense, you know, but the thing I cannot relate to is like him have like all the powers like Espa would like have, you know. That he's like Shonoyoksha, you know, telekinesis psychic user in a sense, and this cannot really relate to, but I can relate to the fact when like everyone's an idiot around you and you're like yari 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 yari, you know, something like that. He says a lot of like yari yari, you know. I can remember. It's kind of like, yeah, I suppose. But if I think about favorite character, it's like pretty hard because everyone's an idiot around him, you know, kinda. But if I think about like Kogai Neiriko's favorite, like which is like Psyche's dad, also like Kuso's dad. Kuso's like the first name, right? And Psyche's like the last name, the family name. When yeah, kind of see like you lick shoes from other people, you're like humiliating, but you still care about everyone, you know, and you love your family, you have your wife, you love your son, you know, even though he's like a little bit of a weirdo, like the youngest son. So yeah. He might like suck as a mangaka editor as well. I saw like episodes of that as well. But even like the faulty characters have like some charming points onto them, you know. So you can't like really be that angry at like some of those. Psyche's too cool, yeah. He's funny but a nice person. Yeah, that's right. But Psyche is like kind of like for the main character, you know, Psyche Kuso. It's kind of like he's a tsundere, you know. He's like complaining that he doesn't like get a peaceful life, you know. It's like yari yari man, those idiots, you know. They can't like do anything without me, kinda. Even like if he like wants to do his own things, eat coffee jello and so, he still like helps them out, you know. He's pretty much a tsundere. Like he thinks one thing, but actually he's like not too much of an asshole to like you know, let them fall into the runes. Tsundere at heart. I love the normal guy that Psyche admires. Ah yeah, that normal guy. Right. He wanted a normal life, you know, so he looks up to like the guy who is like really mediocre. And like takes like notes there. And he wants to befriend him even, you know, but even that like plan didn't work. It was kind of like that he was standing at the gate of the school, was like listening to the song the normal guy likes, the same Shown Jump, you know, it's like the same soda and like candies he like. Oh, he like everything I like, you know. We share the same interest, but at the same time, it was like, yeah, but why would I talk to a guy like that? It's like not like me, you know. Then like all of a sudden, then yeah, I guess like yeah, Psyche was aggressive there. Coffee jelly's so good. I tried making it after watching anime for the first time. Now I always have some in the fridge. Let's go. I had like the. No, I think like anime or whatever like shows kind of like good propaganda to like for something. Like because of Garfield, for example, I want to try lasagna, and then holy crap, lasagna slaps, you know. And for you it's like coffee jelly because Psyche. Holy crap, coffee jelly slaps. I'm gonna have like every day's coffee jelly from now on. But yeah. Totally, I get so influenced by anime food. Me too, I suppose. Like, the ramen looks really good in anime, you know? But instant ramen is like not the same. So I go like to Japanese restaurants, you know, like to the very super famous one like Takumi, and then yeah, let's get there some ramen, and then actually slaps, you know. Especially if there's like egg in there. Pretty traditional self-made serve, and like some kind of like extra like takoyaki or like gyoza or so. Like it's kind of like, oh, it's like just an anime, you know. And it's like kind of like a way to sell you that concept. Maybe not concept, but like those kind of foods. I'm still annoyed that I haven't tried Naruto's ramen. Well, I know I did get an opportunity like collab cafe or so. I have just one answer for the favorite character, the magician that's ways amazing. They're serving us pretty ads, and I'm here for it. Yeah. Yeah, I like the magician too. The amazing guy. I'm not really sure like who's my favorite character there. Like the one that stands out to me is like Kaido Shin, you know? Like how he is like such a Chuny, and then like why he wears the bandages, you know? Dark Reunion, Judgment Night, you know? And like all this crap there. I think he's kind of funny. But also I like the bully guy, you know? Who used to be a delinquent, you know, but like wants to reform himself, but always kind of comes back to his old like habits, kind of like like a fight at heart, you know. Kaido's so cute. Yeah, he's pretty cute. He has like his kind of fantasies, but when he's like actually like confronted with like actual like kind of confrontation, he's like getting like all wimpy and like you know, and like pretty scared. But he has like his ideals, like his kind of heroes, you know. I forgot his name, but it's like he's also like friends with the crew, you know, like with Kaido, with Nendo, with like Psyche, and like the purple hat kind of dude, you know, who wears like glasses. Kind of like Randon here, like right now. Like someone who's a badass but like tries to be like reform himself, but he can't escape from his past. Once he's a bully, always a bully, or like a Yankee delinquent or so, you know. The temple one? What was the temple one? It's like not the spiritualist, right? Like who can like summon ghosts and or like get like ghosts to like possess them when he's like trying to like risk the girls. I think like reach like the second or third season, like where there would be like kind of a how should it call it? I remember like the Japanese kind of term, like Uranai, the fortune teller, you know, the fortune teller guy. Yes, there. I'm like also like there, or like where the yapping guy is like there, like who talks a freaking lot, you know. I think I kind of like stopped at the episode where they had like the kind of like I think like the stage show also, like with like the remake of like Momotaro also, like the story of that. Oh yeah, Aren, the one who became closer to Kaido. I think Kaido got like risked by her. At least like the charm overall, like that he was like pretty interested in her, but she's like, ah, no way, you're not like the man I'm looking for. She was like looking for like Psyche, you know, kind of like that the man of her life, or like the love of her life would be like there, but Psyche not interested, you know, kinda like as always. No, you got the wrong person, you know. The Yappa's so funny too. Yeah, because he doesn't stop talking, he actually like is, you know, he doesn't stop talking, he speaks like what's in his mind, you know. That's like why, you know, oh, you give like a lot of like hints of like this and that. Could it be that you're actually like a psychic, you know? I'm pretty sure he does like bugs, and then he would like plant like bugs near him or so, that he would like panic, and like some potatoes or so, like when they're like still farming stuff, would like explode. I can't remember like that. Actually, like Psyche, the anime is like really yappy already, you know. They speak like really fast, but with this guy, the yapper, becomes even more yappier, you know. It's kind of like the speed, like they do like already double speed, but this guy like speaks in triple speed, you know. And it's like kind of good practice, I suppose, for them. I don't like the blue hair girl. It's not her, it's her voice. Is it like the... Is it like Terahashi? Terahashi? Like the school beauty? The most popular girl in the school? You don't like her? He was talking nonsense, suddenly discovered the main secret of the show. Yeah, right? I think like the gimmick of Terahashi is like pretty like neat as well, because it's kind of explainable. That she has like everyone at her thumb, and then yeah, Terahashi. I think she's like character design wise not that special, but I do understand like the trope as well. And then why he's not falling in love with me? Why would be like, oh, you know, in front of me, and then tries like so, and then kind of like mistakes it for love, I suppose. Because he's not like the easy guy, he's not easy to get. She kind of like assumes, because she's like so fixated on him, that she likes him, you know. And then it kind of like turns out to be love. But Psyche's like, yada, you know. Again, and like, good grief, why am I like in trouble again? The character's cute and I like the trope, but the voice kills me. Yeah, I suppose. Maybe because they're talking double time, you know. In 2x speed. I truly believe the characters don't look well designed because of the anime's art style. I mean, I think it's also like with the manga default, but it doesn't need to be well animated also to work out. Important are like the dialogue, the punchlines, the comedy, and that's about it, I think. And it sold me on that. Sometimes I do like watching shows that are like a little bit on the low budget side or like trashy. But overall, like something that I can like turn my brain off and just be like, hahaha, fun in it. Fun. Think like, yeah, that's fun and entertaining, you know. And Psyche is like Psyche Kuso. The disaster stuff like Psyche Kuso. It's like pretty like decent for that. I admit it's like not the best show ever, but I do quite like it. And if it's like changed some people's life, all the better, you know. That there's like some kind of like lessons, messages to learn from. Yeah, actually there are like some messages you can like take from there, I would like say. Totally. Yeah, but since it's comedy anime, I don't think stylization wasn't the focus, yes. I love the trashy stuff, low quality max effort in a dream. Yeah, right? It's like kind of the indie approach. You have like a vision, you know? If you at least like fulfill the vision, then it doesn't matter if the graphics like kinda mid-tier, you know? Like it's better than like those AAA studios who like spend years on like making something that looks like flashy, but if the overall gameplay or like message, you know, is like not that great, then yeah. Then it's like just better to watch like something, you know, that looks mid-tier like Psyche, but has like quality comedy and it's like easy to understand, you know? It's like also quickly made. Not that I think it's trashy, it kind of looks like it, but it's kind of like gold somewhere, you know? It's like you look for copper, but you find gold, right? Yeah, it's like as long as you're focused on portraying your idea correctly instead of just making everything clean, then you already succeeded on me. Succeeded to me. Fantastic. It's like the concept of a lot of gamers nowadays, you know? Because they get like tired of like the AAA games, you know? Or like live service attempts like Concord, like example that like got shut down within a week or 14 days. So yeah, for sure. But even like if the hot trash is like solo leveling or like some isekai slop, it's at least entertaining, you know? But like AAA games, maybe not so much, you know? But yeah. Look at that green. It's green. Like the man is green. The orc is green. Too perfect to enjoy. Yes, you could also say so. I don't really like mainstream games because of that. It feels too correct, I guess. Yes. I suppose you can like say it's too correct. Of course, things are like allowed to have laws, but this is kind of like, yeah, needs a polish to like leave room for that, kinda. Like I like the charm of like some games, you know, because they're kind of like wonky and like clunky. But there's a heart in there and a vision on like in the process of like making that game. I like some of the indie games and like one man projects, like One Man Army, like guy who like did the programming, music, character design, you know, like Toho for example, and it's like pretty popular. Biggest doujin scene, like fan community scene, you know. They do art, they do manga, they make games, they even make music, you know. And then those communities form, be like, work with each other to like make fantastic projects, you know, like music videos. Bad Apples, like I think, for example. That's why like BA, there are some weird funny girls and not just waifu. Yeah, that's true. We had like the pleasure of like Izumi, for example. Oh, those are so expressive. People that do everything for their game scare me. Right? Well, regarding like scaring you, people like doing everything for the game. I kind of like find those kind of like games that like fan bases like Undertale or like Hollow Knight or like Omori a little bit too, maybe a little bit scary. Because usually if it's like a game that's like 18 plus, you can expect mature people there, right? You can expect like people who have like who like can read the room boundaries. But if it's like a game which has like a higher entry of like less barrier of entry, but a lot more like teenagers and kids, you know? I think kids can be cute and so, but if you let them into like things like discussions, it can be, depending on how mentally how old they are mentally, it can be pretty I would like say. This is maybe like one thing I'm afraid of when it comes like to our fan community. But 2 is pretty like cool. 2 is pretty cool. Strawberry jelly. I'm still traumatized. Yes. The strawberry jelly. What about the eel pudding? Like how she wanted to eat a hot dog with like sprinkles of like eel jelly pudding, cat churros, and like the strawberry jam. Yuck, don't remind me. I don't think that should be as included as they aren't in discussions that don't concern me. I mean, it's not like they're going to actually play a lot. Yeah. I remember like of some comment, you know, they like the games, they love their life, but then they actually didn't play the game, you know. It's kind of like this me, don't mess with us like Dragon Ball fans, we didn't even watch an anime, you know. So, oh, don't mess with us Persona 5 fans, we didn't even play the game. Actually, should I play Persona on stream? I heard like it's like a really long game. So maybe it's like not really that good. Or that. If we would just focus on the main story, I suppose I can play, but then I do like miss on the whole experience as well. So maybe not. I never played like Persona, but I watched some anime, you know. Totally enjoy interacting in community, but they don't interact with the media. I mean, if it's like the game takes a lot of time, you know, like Persona or like Garumpa or so whatever, you know. Then I suppose it makes sense to just watch the videos, not really like play the game. I've heard a bit of Persona, but not sure what it's about. It's basically Power of Friendship, the game. But it's peak. It sounds like cliche when I say like it's Power of Friendship the game, but the thing is like they sell you the characters really well. You start liking the characters. Then you want to befriend them, you know? And as you befriend them, and your friendship grows stronger, and your power of friendship grows stronger as well. Pretty much. There are like some interesting dudes, some interesting girls as well, especially girls. You can like also like romance like some of the NPCs as well that seem like interesting to you. It's like this kind of interesting quote of like, you know, you're my student, I'm your teacher. And one of the responses in like Persona 5, you know, from the protagonist like, let's make it better, you know. There's also like this kind of root branching as well, you know. That you can actually date like some of them. There's romance. And because there's so much content, so much romance, so much like good characters, that the game is like really fun. which is like worth like 100%ing, you know, like playing until you get like every achievement. But it's like a very long game. Like you will be there stuck for like a month, 2 months, 3 months. At my pace, it would like maybe take a year if I just play weekly instead of like daily, you know? It's like a JRPG at the end of the day. But that's such a good one, you know? Poor Friendship the game? I tell My Little Ponies they should get sued. But speak! Well, from what I saw in the anime, it's like pretty good, you know? Like Persona 4 anime I like watched. Persona 5, I think like I watched a few episodes, I thought it was pretty good, but then I heard like that like later on the anime is like not really that worth or so. Like, if you watch anime you could also play the game, you know, in a sense. And I think like if I look at the Steam sales, Persona 5 is like a pretty big discount. But I'm not sold yet to like buy it, you know. And by the way, they announced like Persona 6 as well. So yeah. Sooner or later I should like hop into the bandwagon, but I think I'm gonna take my sweet time. I like the details he added to his face, he looks so cool. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much. At least the concept, like he's an orc. Salaryman. I wanted to draw him like chibi, but it doesn't really work. Like how I imagined, but it's still simplified a little bit, you know. I think I have Persona 3, I have a ton of games I bought just because I never touched. Oh, Persona 3 is a good game. It's like, I think like a pretty cheap game or so, 30-40 bucks, but you have like hours and hours worth of playtime, you know? I do like the talk of like back in the days, you know, like when people are like, hey, there's a purchase for 20 euros, you know? But I have like weeks worth of like playtime for that. What I could buy, you know? Compared to like something like Tetris, where you just like play one round. A few rounds, and then yeah. And then you lose and it's like, boring, you know? But Persona has like a lot of like replayability. So this is a good like kind of buy, I would like to say. I kind of like those games that I love replayability because as a kid, you know, you have not much money, you know, and your parents wouldn't like always buy you a game, so all you can like do is like, you know, you have like one console and like and then some of the games, and then you replay it over and over again, you know. If you had like something like Persona or like something like a Super Mario game or whatever with a story, you know, nothing like arcade-like. It would make a whole day. It would be like pretty fun. Like spend your time with. Maybe Pokemon, you know, as well. I think like there are also like many things you can do before you run out of like out of content. Like one game I pretty enjoyed playing as a kid was like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. This was a DS series as well, but it was also like something. Or like for Game Boy, I like playing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. This was like this deck builder game, I think. It had like, this was like kind of the first game that had like voice acting in like cutscenes or so, like I think I played. And like actually videos in there. It was really, really anime-like. My friends had like trouble to like finish the game. He was like stuck on a boss or so, on the same boss over and over again. They couldn't really do it because he wouldn't really understand like the card deck building mechanics or so. And I played it, and then whoop-de-whoop, I'm at the final boss now. And then he was like sitting there with me. What, you made this far? I never made this far. And then he would like watch me like defeating the final boss, and then I unlocked like a new route or so where you can play as the other main character or so, like as Riku, you know. And then he was like hooked into playing again, you know, and like learning the meta again. Like back in the days, we had really like knowledge of like internet, you know, that there was like information out there that we could like use to like to help us like in playing the game, like finishing the game, you know. But yeah, you were addicted, jeez. Yeah, cute, yeah. But as a kid, I wouldn't really have the allowance of like my parents, you know, really to buy new games or so, or like I need to wait for Christmas or what, or like for my unks and like grandpa and grandmas to like buy me something because I like asked them, you know, hey, can you bring me some games when they come back, you know, something like that. And yeah, it's kind of like that. And what I do was just like, okay, visit friends and play their games, you know, borrow something, you know, and yeah, or like hang out at their place and like play their games. I had like a Game Boy console, but I didn't have like many games, and then I would like go out of my way to like ask them, you know, if I could play theirs, like on things they have like finished playing, or like things they have like been stuck at, you know, that could help them. Sometimes we would like do a switcheroo that we do take rounds instead of a single playthrough where I play on my own save file here on his. Sometimes we like switch, you know. If he's stuck, you know, I'm gonna take over. I'm stuck, he takes over. That's kind of like fair. But we had only one console, so... But we were like pretty... We were pretty fair, I suppose. I don't know, like, it's like we're watching a stream where someone's playing, and then you get your turn to like play as well. Maybe? Maybe it's something like that, but it was like real life. Sometimes we like ran out of like co-op games, and then this was like kind of an alternative. And I thought like the story like Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, like the Game Boy game, slapped. And he kind of like thought so as too. So we were like both like hooked onto like this game. That we like take rounds. You like carry each other in a sense, but I was a better gamer actually between the both of us. I don't know why. I could explain, but maybe I would like dox a little bit something about myself. But what I can tell you, I had a lot of free time. I was like bored of my mind. So I would like become strictly a specialist in games like I would like touch, you know. I would do a lot more research. As best as I can though. Yeah, you were teaching him. No, I wasn't really teaching him, I suppose. I would like try, but it wouldn't really sink in. Because things were like really tech heavy, you know? Like tech heavy in the sense of like input heavy. That you need like a special kind of inputs to like do things. Like in Nintendo 64, there were like this ridiculous big controllers, you know? And you had like to do certain inputs with like the... What's it called? The joysticks. Like there are smash inputs and like there are light inputs, like tilt inputs or so. In order to like walk or like to sprint. he's not really consistent like with any of those inputs, you know, like with tilt or like smash inputs with like the joystick. So if it comes like to games where it's like Super Smash Bros., I would always beat him. He wouldn't like be fast enough to like get to position or so. Or like do smash attacks. It's like always like a light attack or like the special, the neutral B or so, where he like fires a projectile or like boomerang, but does like the same amount of damage or something like that. They were like just those little kind of like things that like set us apart. I understand. See, Bully. I don't really know like if you understood. But just like a little bit of tech skill, like in terms of like input skills, you know. So I suppose in like fighting games or like games that involve like fighting, I'm better. But if it comes to strategy games like RTS, real-time strategy, he was better than me. I remember like one time when I came back, you know, he played a browser game and he was like telling me, hey, I'm currently top rank 1 in like this game. And then, what? This was like an online real-time strategy game, you know, and I was like kind of impressed about that skill of him. I kind of felt like proud, you know, in that moment, because in those kind of fighting games, he always sucked against me, you know. He was always like the weaker gamer, like if it comes to deck building and such. But if it's like real-time strategy, you know, like doing quick decisions in like short amount of time, like with like resources and so, he was better than me. I was like just better like in fighting games. Yeah. He's just like me for real. Well, yeah, I suppose. I suppose everyone has like their strength and weak points at the end of the day. It's not like about that one's the better gamer than the other. But currently nowadays I don't have like much contact with him. Like after COVID, there was not really much reason to like reach out to each other. He had like his job, I had my job, you know. But I didn't bother him, he didn't bother me. And then we kind of like grew apart. But if I were to reach out to him, it would be a little bit awkward, I think. But I'm pretty sure I wouldn't really have trouble to like find my way back. But just like, I don't have any reason like right now. Maybe like if it's his birthday, then I kind of like would have one. I do not like what his birthday was. It's like not this year yet. It's kind of like over for now. But I have like next year like another chance. Both. I could also hop by like for no reason, you know, and then like, hey, you have time this weekend, you know. But like I did back in the days. I just like popped up with like no reason really, you know. Just like barge in and be like, hey, you free right now? And then I would like come and visit, you know. And he was like bored, also I was mine, and then he was like kind of like hoping that I would like call him, you know, waiting for me to do the first step, and then this would make his whole day, you know. But also would make my whole day. We kind of used each other in a sense. He was kind of the guy also who like brought me to Star Wars, you know, and like I grew to appreciate like the sci-fi like kind of like stuff, you know. Usually I thought it was like kind of nerdy, so, but it's pretty it slaps. That was a good birthday, so I usually give stuff with birthday wrapping randomly so they know I thought about it at least. Okay, that's good. But also at the same time, yeah, understandable. It's dope, sounds like a fun friendship. Yeah, I was the extroverted one between the two of us. Oh, so he is cool. Yeah, he is. He's pretty nerdy boy, like kind of a normie, but he he was pretty understandable, pretty human as well, you know, at the end of the day. Like wears glasses as well, when I kind of like thought him, you know, adjusting your glasses when like looking this like this anime kind of guy, you know, like when he had like his kind of like sixth sense moments like RTS, you know, something like that. But yeah. We wouldn't always like play a 1v versus 1 game. It's always like a co-op game, or like one we had like to like where it's like single player, we like switch around kinda. Because if it comes like to those fighting games, it would like be pretty one-sided, you know. It was like not always even. Maybe like in Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi or so, like that's like this kind of like 1v1. Because there my tech skill would really work, like, because they're 3D, not a 2D kind of fighter. And by the way, if it comes like to watching movies, series or so, the story kind of like interpretation, he was really ahead of me. While I was like watching like all that stuff, like junk foods, you know, and not thinking much about it, like turning my brain off, he analyzed the story. He thought about the messages. He like looked if it made sense, like some things, you know. And I just turn my brain off and be like, yo, cool fight scene. Holy crap, that was dope, you know. Oh man, you know this moment when he cried when like his grandpa died. Oh man, that's got me. But he looked like it in a more deeper sense, if like things like make like besides like the emotional moments, he looked at the other things like deciphered them. And when he like kind of laid them out to me, and then I think like this and that, you know. If he did this thing, he could have prevented that and this, you know, something like that. Or there's a plot turn at this point, and I'm just like, bruh man, you're weird, you know. I didn't really get it, you know. But when I look back at it, it's kind of like, okay, suppose it makes like sense. But at the same time, if things would have happened like this, it sends what online, you know, like where 1,000 gamers were like dropping a video game, or then thousands of gamers. He kind of like recommended like things like EMP to like disable like the nerf gear. This could like disable nerf gear, and then the players are kind of like free. But then at the same time, yeah, but if they would do that, we wouldn't have this anime. That's cool. This kind of aura farming moments, bruh. Do you know like it would destroy the purpose? And he's like, yeah, but if they would have been smart, you know, if they had thought about the opportunity, then this would never happen. There would never be deaths. And it's like, bruh, man, you lost me. And yeah, but I never really thought about it, you know. It's kind of like this kind of thing. So real, I usually criticize the characterizations mid-movie. Yeah, he's like this kind of movie critic, or like anime critic in a sense, you know. I think it was kind of mistake for me to bring into anime, but at the same time, he seems to like draw more cultured or so. He liked the Guilty Crown music, you know. I didn't like it back in the days. He appreciated like Fate, the Fate series, you know. He brought me to Star Wars, for example. So he has like kind of developed kind of like cultural sense as a normie that gets into anime, you know. So yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of refined, like kind of like development there. A lot of the anime he likes, I kind of like too. Oh, Fate is cool, yes. A corrupted normie? Maybe, you know. It was kind of my fault, because I thought he liked gaming. Hey, Sword Online, you should like that, you know. I think it was around the 2010s. It was like definitely like a lot of years before like pandemic would like happen. This is like where I kind of recommended to him. It was kind of like a friend, one of my friends would give me like a USB stick with like Spot Online. I had like Potato PC, I couldn't really watch it. When I asked my friends, like the normie friend, you know, like I talk about, if he had like an opportunity, like a program where I like could like watch this stuff, you know. So I shared like the data with him, and then he like took the time to like also like watch the anime, and was like, hey, it slaps. It was only 5 episodes or so on a 1 GB USB stick, and then he got into it and then kind of like criticized as well while he was at it, and nitpicking here and there. SIO is usually popular of normies. How funny. Yeah, I suppose. It's like usually like, what is the anime that is like good for normies, like for starters, you know? With what anime should I start? If people gonna say like, hey, watch One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball, you're gonna get like slapped left and right from them because it's like too fucking long, you know? Like too much of a slow burner to like actually like take off, you know? You need like something that like hooks them right from the start, and SIO kind of like hooked me from the start, you know, because, you know, SIO is just the best game ever. SIO is just the best game ever. Hello everyone, is it working? Oh, by the way, if you die in this game, you die in Minecraft. Have fun. What? No, get me out of this game. I can't log out. Why? You know, this kind of like turning point made like pretty cool, hooked you like from the first get-go, kind of, you know. And I thought like, yeah, they would like that, you know. And episode 2 was like also like pretty cool. Like it had really good pacing. Like it was pretty like fast paced, and you could like understand like pretty fast on like where the stakes like are. That like your life is on the line. SL discrimination for newbie, but key to piss me off so bad. I understand. Pretty understandable. But the concept was pretty cool though. The themes. I kind of like look, I just like closed over it and be like, nah, the good they're like good, more good than like bad in this, you know. You're gonna enjoy it. I know it, you know. And he did enjoy it, even though he did some nitpick on some stuff. He did enjoy it. Maybe like if you're gonna recommend like to a newbie like anime, what the starter animes are, would be like Death Note. It would be like Attack on Titan, you know. Maybe like something along this like sort. But I didn't have like much, you know. I just like wanted to watch SAO, and then he had to like watch that as well, you know. He was just like, okay, I'm curious about like why you tried so hard to like watch that. Let me watch it as well, and be like, holy crap, that's good, you know. And then yeah, I didn't really like convince him and be like, hey, watch that, you know, that's good, you know. I was just like, you know, I want to watch that. Maybe you will like it too, and then yeah. It was just an accident, I suppose. But in the end of the day, it was my fault. It was my fault. And yeah, he's hooked in that as well. My friend used to say she would enter the game if they created it. I feel like I would be more hesitant. I'm still like wondering if they like do the Nerf gear also. Like if they do like a VR game like that. But they made like something similar like these days. There's a game out there, at least a demo, that's called Echoes of Aincrad. You can play the two floors of Aincrad, like fully. Like there. Like that's like there for the game. And if you die in the game, your whole save file will be like erased. So it's like permadeath exists in there. and you play as yourself. As just another dude in there. You're not Kirito. But you can meet Kirito in the game, and he's like kind of antagonist in there because you play like from the point of view of like a random gamer in like SAO who's like also trapped in there. And I kind of like thought, hey, this would be cool. I could like play how it's like in SAO. Sword Art Online. And I live in this world, in this kind of story arc, you know, like in anime. But I can play on my own pace. This game's gonna come out like in 4 days. The full version. Would you buy it? I just recommend some of the ones on Netflix. They're just more popular with the people for a reason, yes. Would you buy it? I would. Maybe at a discount. That's so cool, MG. That's so dude. I would hate to be Kirito, yeah. I played a little bit of a demo. I'm not quite sure yet if I'm gonna buy it for the full price. It's like 70 bucks. Maybe at a discount. Maybe I want the winter sales, I suppose. But if it's like a really good game, if it would be a really good game, the concept is cool though, then I would have not hesitated to like buy for the 70 bucks, but for now I'm kinda hesitant, you know, because I played the demo a little bit. And if they launch the game that traps you, would you try it? No, I have work to do, but at the same time, if I'm checking the game, I don't have to work. Like, can you say kind of like excuse of like, sorry, I can't come to work, I trapped my video game. If I exit it, I'm gonna die in the game. You know, they're not gonna buy it. They're gonna try it when I'm dead, and that's like their fault. And you know, yes, the lawsuit is gonna come. Oh, let's go. But at the same time, we'll die. It's not worth it. There was like something out like that, like, yeah, if you die in the game, you die in Minecraft, but at the same time, if they try to remove your headgear forcefully, you can also die in Minecraft this way, you know? So yeah. I wouldn't die, I'm too dope to die. Yeah, tell that like to Sachi also. Even though Kirito's not really likable for some people, man, I like Sachi. The first love of Kirito, I suppose. You know, like this poor girl who like died in the trap room, you know, and then she left like a voice message where she like singing Merry Christmas, or like a Christmas song for like Kirito. So this was like one episode kind of traumatized me. Like I'm more afraid like letting someone I start liking die than die myself in Minecraft, you know? Stop! You're opening my wound! Yeah. So I suppose this episode hit you as well. Yeah, I like this girl. She seemed like, oh, I'm scared, please help me. But at the same time, man, this fantasy, you know. But then, no, I couldn't save her, no! And yeah, it's also like this kind of like, yeah. That's why I be a lone wolf. I live alone the force of my trillion dollars. I see, that's like how you do it. And then if like a hot girl's gonna come, no, I play solo. Don't touch my money, you bitch.
Why did you do that?
You just have my money. I'm gonna play solo anyway. Don't touch me. Why are you laughing, my plan? I mean, you sure can like play solo, like just like hide in the forest and so. I mean, if you're strong enough, then it's like fine. Exactly, that's exactly what we'll have. Okay, like how I do this. I want to shade. I'm like 2 hours in. But I kinda like want to be a dope badass, so... Because it's Randon, because it's a streamer I really like, I want to make it a little bit doper. I like his stories he like tells. But yes, for the online, just the concept was like kind of interesting enough, you know. And playing a game like that would be a dream. Like, I wouldn't like to die, you know, in this game. I wouldn't like to risk my life. But just like experiencing something like that as a video game would be like dope. So like echoes of Aincrad, you know? If you die, you're just there's a permadeath in the game, you know? Like if you die, your whole save data would be wiped. This kind of like sounds... Yeah, I would be into that actually, you know? Like hardcore gaming. Are you going to make the classes glow? I will try. Something like that. I forgot to give him a chair. The chair's around here, then around there, spawn the next one. Even though he looks like this kind of business orc, he likes riding his bike. He plays golf as well. I like a rich guy at the same time. But yeah, he was telling something about like hiding the forest for $1 trillion kind of dollars. To be aged Randon is something like this guy as well. He's kind of paranoid or so. And he's the prepper as well. Like, in case of some apocalypse, he has like hidden like multiple kilograms of like rice in like his hideout or so, somewhere in the forest. So in case of emergency, he has like a kind of like emergency ration of like multiple kilos of like rice there. And he would like sit there equipped with a spear, you know. He also like grows his own garden as well. So he has like experiences this kind of logistics, you know. And he's confident like that he could like survive the zombie apocalypse if he's like prepared like that. Just in case, you know, if anything happens. It's pretty unlikely, but if it happens, he's like prepared. And then some would be like, hey, if I need help, can I stay at your place? And he's like, yeah, no problem, come swing by, you know. I make sure we have like enough. I feel like I would rather die in the game. It sounds like a dope heroic death, yes. Just remember that guy cosplayed Shinji at convention, sat on a chair making a iconic pose. People started giving money. I saw like a post of that, you know. And he like keep farming money. He's a nice guy, I like his design a lot. Orcs are cool. Yeah. Usually the archetype orcs are like kind of the evil. Or like kind of the evil like a more archetype, you know? They're like more on the kind of side like people should like look out for. But it's interesting when there's like orc VTuber, you know, how would they like use this trope? And it's kind of like, you know, he's pretty based. He makes like look like the kind of like archetype of like, you know, I might be like of a bad race, but I'm not a bad dude, you know. Kind of like he makes his trope like kind of like, yeah, more interesting. Like it's kind of a fresh breath of air. When I saw him like the first time, I kind of like thought it was interesting, you know. But actually like care to like look into his streams, you know, I found like gold. I love his stories. It's like pretty crazy like what he has like to tell. Like with his camping trips and so, like he has like occasionally. He did like let some bag of potato chips like I think like fall or so. And he wanted to like pick up and then like a big freaking rat like zoomed by, grabbed the potato bag, you know, the bag of potato chips, and then like like tried to like snatch it away while he was like trying to like pull him. Then but as he's like saw the determination of like this fat rat like wanting like those kind of resources, you know, he kind of got like okay, he kind of let go and was like okay, understandable, have a nice day. Yeah, I take a potato chip and eat it. Yes, as well. And then yeah, he just saw this fucking big rat like running away with this bag of potato chips, and he's like just like you know, just like nodding silently and be like yeah, but he was like kind of surprised and like had like respect for like this kind of rat, like you know. And you have to imagine he's like this orc guy, you know. He's like this orc, physical strength like pretty high, but he gave up because, you know, he saw the determination and like the rat had like wanting the potato chip back, you know. Okay, how do I do the rest? I think like I do a multiply layer, and then what was that? Call blue. This was normal. I should get multiply. Yeah, multiply. And this. I'm gonna check the tutorial again. I need to like check how I did that back in the days. But because of him, I do enjoy like I've started like enjoying Zatsudan streams, and I'm like kind of a regular if it comes to like his Zatsudan streams. He is like streaming like the very good hours for me. Like for him it's like morning time whenever he like does the streams, but for me it's like prime time evening, like around 7 PM, 8 PM or so, and around those times like kind of awake, you know. And this were like those are like pretty perfect times for me like to like film stream, and then I could like just hop in and do my own things, and then sometimes like laugh about like what crazy stuff he has like to tell. You can do it, I believe it. I love such the best streams. There's such a good schedule. I mean, we are like 2 people here, like in liking Zatsudans. That was like especially him why I like started doing like more Zatsudan streams in the first place, you know. But, do this for a while. Was not quite right. Like this. Wait, this one. Yeah. I need this. Okay. Then do this, and then this. Yes. Then cold shadow, and then color dodge. Yeah, I think like I need multiple layers for that. But I think like waking up in the morning is pretty good, you know. Like when I stream like Yakuza like every Sunday, it would be like morning time for me, but then like prime time in your kind of time zone, I suppose. That's like maybe like 10 p.m, maybe 9 p.m. or so. I think like around that it's like also like great to like for you guys, you know, for you guys there, for me to stream. While I'm like just starting my day and can like just be productive like right from the get-go. Most schedules end up early in the morning or very, very late at night for me. It's full-time job to catch a stream. Yeah, right. So if there's something like around the start of the day or like the end of the day, it's like pretty good, I would say. If it's like quite in the middle of the day, it can be kind of difficult. So normally I would like prefer to stream right after I work, after my job, but I figure I should like kind of like time it around the time. It's also like fortunate to like, it's like pretty good to like tune in as well, I believe. I mean, I learned it kind of myself, like in a way. I don't blame anybody. Time zones suck. Yeah, that's true. You should take a break before streaming, but I mean, you could get overwhelmed with it. Yeah, that is true. A break before I start streaming, rather than like back to back with like job and then like into streaming. I understand. I can make the classes glow. By the way, behind his glasses, he looks like your typical tired salaryman, by the way. Like, if you can see his eyes, usually they're like see through the glasses, you know? When you see him like being tired. I kind of like this kind of genre of like a tired salaryman as well. I mean, like a lot of people like do. He looks dope, haha, yeah. I mean, I make him look dope. I mean, not that he's already dope enough, you know. Like, this concept is like already genius. Tired Salaryman is always a Tired Salaryman's always a fave. That's so calm and lovely. Yeah. But you know, usually an orc, someone who's like physically strong in everything. They're like a military, for example, like those two pathways. Either you go like be a soldier, or you're gonna do like the kind of office kind of like thing. Like being in the medic kind of like thing, or like just being in the office, you know, in that kind of way. And seeing an orc like in this kind of line of work, it's kind of like, aren't you supposed to be on the battlefield or so? No, I'm belonging here. It's totally like right where I am, you know. And then, yeah, I suppose. But also like this kind of line of work, of us being a salaryman, can be pretty tiresome mentally. Like things of like lack of sleep, overwork. You lose a lot of free time, especially if you like do overtime as well. That does not get paid. Imagine like him after work, he comes back to streaming, he's like, hello everyone, you know? And pretends like nothing has happened, you know? He's like still good and dandy, you know? He still makes his camping trips, he takes care of his garden, you know, and everything. Like, he's kind of a dad in a sense, you know? Like that he does that for us, you know? Like, he works his ass off, you know? And he streams and then does like other stuff, you know? As he's like a normal, as he would like live a normal life, also camping trips and so, you know? But currently, job-wise, he's like not in something that's like pretty... It's not really like that, how do you call it? It doesn't like take him too hard. I think that's something of a part-time or so. And when he has like enough money, he's like, okay, I'm like jobless for now. And I will do this until like I almost run out of money and then gonna go back to work, you know? Something like that. So currently he's in a state where he has like kind of like a money stash or so. He's like streaming so that he can entertain us as long as he can. And then he goes back to work and then this kind of cycle or so. And currently, yeah. He also sells merch and so. I think like he collab a few, like he's also like one of those who have like a little bit of this and that. But overall his life seems like pretty like balanced and like nice. And also like he enjoys like purchasing weapons, you know, like a spear or so. And he has like samurai armor as well, like somewhere, so which like one part of this weird hobbies, you know, but he's like this old dude, you know. You can imagine, then it's kind of you kind of away with that. If I think about it, I'm pretty normal. But I do agree with him that a spear is like a pretty good weapon. If you have the range, you have advantage. Sure, whatever you say. A spear, I feel like it's not really practical. Maybe not in today's like age or so, because a gun would be like much mightier, you know. But I told you like that he's preparing like for a zombie apocalypse, you know, in case like something like that happens. The thing is like a gun is loud. You have limited ammo, it's loud, it can attract like unwanted attention, you know. And if it's like a horde and your ammo doesn't last against them, then you're at a big disadvantage. So the next best thing is like a spear. You can throw it, or you can fight from a distance and they can't touch you, you know? Even if it's like just a human being, you have the range, you know? As long as they can't touch you, and you can like poke them, slash them here and there from some safe distance, you have the advantage, you know? By the time they reach you, they have like wounds like on their feet, on their shin, on their arms or so. They're already bleeding while you're still fit, and then you can throw hands like that with them, you know? But against like some opponents who are like not really afraid, you know, to take a hit like a wild boar or so, it might be a little more difficult, you know? Even if Randon has a spear, a wild boar that's like about to tackle him, he will also take a hit, you know? And this can be pretty dangerous. I guess you're right. It can also help keep people from getting too close. Yeah. The spear is pretty great. Like even a sword master has like difficulties to like fight against like someone with a spear. It's not like in anime and like movies. They have actually like in reality, like looking at the manuals and the Middle Ages, you know, they had like difficulties there. And if you like try it in practice, you know, like HEMA, Historican, European martial arts, it proves like difficult. I like took the time to like research a little bit about that, you know, a little bit of a nerd and like this kind of history kind of part, and it's pretty interesting. I looked into that because I was like interested in like writing like something that plays like in the Middle Ages or so, you know, like 1500s or whatever. And then I wanted to at least do my research to like make things right, you know? Be like, oh, I understood the reference! Oh, he did everything right! Toshan! Hey, yeah! You understand me! And, yeah, something like that. I could like gain some plus points for like a potential audience, but never really got that far to utilize my knowledge. The best I can do is like to flex with it, you know? And then that's it. But if I think about it, you know, I suppose it's fine. I can have a lot of knowledge or so, but it depends on like how you sell all of that. Okay. Okay, I don't really focus. I can't really focus. I'm kind of like locked in like with the drawings. I kind of like want to make sure that's like looks like good, so I can't really like focus much and like reflect on like what I'm talking about, you know. I suppose. And like I'm not really like hitting anything. I'm not like connecting, I suppose. See what I said. I'm not really quite happy like what I draw, but I will try like what I can. Yeah, I forgot like the shadows, of course. Ah, okay, now I'm a little bit closer to my vision, yes. It looks pretty. Yeah, thank you. Well, I try to like make it like prettier. Or like at least like decent enough. I think like this is like good. Maybe like I'm gonna exaggerate like the line weights and then this will be good enough. Like I think like it has like the right amount of like darkness that I wanted. Just like a little bit line weight. And then yeah. Randon the Orc. Actually, if I think about it, it reminds me like something about the stream, you know, where the super chat came in, that kind of like sounded like roasty, you know. You know, like the current market of like VTubers, you know? It's like mere VTubers. It's like some kind of Ikemen, you know? They're like some kind of like weeaboo kind of ish name. And he should be rather Prince Charming rather than like some orc, you know? Kind of like Shrek, like, you know? That they don't want like Shrek, they want like some haughty Ikemen Bishi that is like has like an interesting Japanese-ish name or something like that, and not some screen man, you know. And I remember like him reading it out loud and like in this such much nerdiest kind of voice he could like master up or so. While he looks cool here, he's actually pretty based. Like he doesn't really care that much about like those kind of like comments outside or so. He just like takes it as is and rolls along with it, you know, rolls with the punches. A pretty good entertainer, even if it's just like him talking, not showing anything on screen. Like maybe to corporate, you know. I mean, he's a salaryman, Orc Salaryman. He works in a company and he has experience in that, so yeah. But okay, how long are we in? Almost 3 hours. Yeah, okay. If I look at like that, I wanna move it a little bit. If I remove the gray, just the white in there. Huh, does work. Does work out. Huh. Does work out. Maybe like on the forehead it's a little bit too light, too much light. Other than that's like fine. I'm still surprised I can finish art drawing so quickly. It's very impressive. Do you think 3 hours is quite quick? I'm yapping too much, you know, to like really focus on like that. I'm getting distracted, man. I'm also like getting distracted by myself at the same time, you know. Sometimes I like want to yap and then I'm like my head in, man. I can't really form sentences or like my brain doesn't really work that well if I like do many things at once, you know. I have only 2 brain cells, you know. One's for drawing, the other one is like, yeah, supposed for speaking, but then I can't like think, you know. It's still quick, 3 hours is not that much. You think so? Like, it's still a decent amount of time of the day. I could use that for sleeping, you know. But yeah, it's not my first time drawing like people like with this body stature, like a bigger macho, you know. I did like some practice drawings like back in the days, you know. I did like builds, draw similar builds. But it's the first time like for me to draw actually big hands, like because he's an orc, you know. It's like a big body. I don't know. I think it's cool since some people spend 5 hours minimum. 5 hours. Like I'm pretty quick. I'm pretty quick, I suppose. Like, I don't want to spend like hours upon hours onto something. Just like, until it's like, okay, that's good enough, I can submit that, you know? I don't like wanna be crazy style. I can be Crazy Star, but I don't wanna be Crazy Star, you know? It's like quick and simple, like some samples on the left side here with Auba, or like the Holo Star in the center. And yeah. If I just get the message across, it's good enough, you know? It's about communication, in a sense, not like wanting to draw Mona Lisa. I could, but I don't wanna. It's like a little bit closer to it, you know? To like some details. I could do more, but I think like I don't want to fly too close to the sun, you know? Not gonna wanna burn like Icarus. Yeah man, it's healthier for you. Yeah, that's right. But for tomorrow I will like stream again, like at the same time. I think like the archive stream is like, yeah. Gonna read like some Valentine stories like with the students. I have like about 12 like left or so. But check right now what's available. Can I put it on stream? Let me check. I put on stream. Can read of 12 students. Aoba, Chiaki, Eri, Fuyu, Hikari, Kanoi, Kei-chan, Mio, Mia, Nozomi, Rabe, and Rei. Ah, okay. So from the like from those 12. Not sure if you would be up for that, but it's like at least like the program for tomorrow. Maybe like some Bond stories as well. Of like Momo Talk. But in any case, that's gonna all be for today. Getting the fucking robot toast done. In any case, thank you all for watching. Have a nice rest of the day, evening, good night, whatever times in the world you all are. Then I'm gonna say bye bye.